Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and happy holidays, happy holy days. 'Tis the season for all the holiday cheer, right? So that's actually exactly what I want to discuss in this video, is what this season is actually about, what the Advent season is about, what these holy days are truly representing, the origins of the celebrations and the honoring and the preparations as well. 3 on the timer, master number of the master teacher. And we know who that master teacher is. So this is a time when, according to Christian tradition at least, we celebrate the birth of the Son. But how does this connect to the solar alchemy that we're experiencing? And how does this connect to astrology? That's something I'm going to anchor into, and into this other constellation that is not typically regarded in traditional Western astrology at this point in time, 111, how it connects to our soul evolution. And as this is the darkest time of the year, literally, it is a time for us to actually turn inward. And what does our society have us doing during this festive season? And as fun as it is, yes, of course, I'm not going to deny that it's fun to gather with our friends and our family and to celebrate and honor in that way. But what it's become is something very external, something that has us externalizing our energy, eating sugar, and some people engage in a lot of drinking and indulging and all of that. And this isn't to judge, but it's just to reflect on the inversions and distortions that have come through the modernization and materialization of these holy days, and to resurrect the true organic consciousness and the meaning behind these holy days, that how, and also crucially, how to work with them on an alchemical level, because that's what they really are here to assist us in doing when we anchor into the organic template. And of course, this is a time when Mother Mary is coming through very strongly. Her energy is very potent and present through the Immaculate Conception notion. So she obviously gave birth to the Son, the Holy Child, and we're going to kind of weave through these different aspects, and I'll only go so deep into it for the purposes of brevity, but there's a lot here, and I personally have been offline because I've been going through massive upgrades myself, deep clearing and purging that has really called me to be internal, and I even am dealing with congestion, so it honestly has been challenging for me to just be present for a video. There's just been a lot going on energetically, so perhaps you've been experiencing that yourself, and if so, 333, you are right on cue. So let's get into Advent season. So this is the season of hope. This is the season of the light in the darkness. So 4 years ago, if you're new to me, I was inspired to create this 21-day series, Let There Be Light, the light in the darkness. And it actually became this book, which I just published on 11/11. And it's really the for the journey of navigating of our soul evolution, the dark night of the soul, of embodied ascension, if you will, and in practical steps, right? And I also anchor it into the shift in consciousness and why things are the way they are, and why we've been so pulled outside of ourselves and separated from the inner truth that resides within, and how to crucially reignite that inner light. So I was guided. I wasn't really, thinking in terms of that 4 years ago on December 1st, but it fits so well. The more I deepen on this journey myself, the more I realize how beautifully guided we are if we just trust those niggles, and how it really helps us to anchor in to organic consciousness and organic evolution. And specifically the rise of the divine feminine, the rise of the mother, the resurrection of the mother consciousness. And what I've been doing specifically is actually working actively with the grid work. And what came through with this particular grid work session was specifically connected to the mother and healing of the mother. And, of course, when you're doing grid work, you are working directly with Mother Earth and her grid, and, restoring her consciousness to its organic template. And it can be intense. It's not for the faint of heart. It is not for newbies. And so I've kind of been alchemizing a lot of this and really connecting and attuning to these original templates. And when we anchor this into the galactic astrology that has 13, it's not even 13 zodiac signs, because this 13th is technically, it's a constellation. It's not really considered a zodiac sign, but it has a very special significance within the sky. And when we really connect with the meaning of Ophiuchus, is that how you pronounce it? Ophiuchus? Please, somebody correct my pronunciation if you know how to say it. I've read the word a gajillion times. I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways, and they all sound funny. So apologies. I should have just looked it up if there's there's probably somewhere online where it says how to pronounce it properly. I just didn't think to. But when we anchor in to this this constellation and what he represents, it really lends depth to this time of year of Advent, the Advent season, the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas, which is the birth of the Son, which is this time of preparation. And what does Advent mean? It means arrival and to come to. So it's really about celebrating the birth of Christ, or as we know, if we're anchored into this journey, the second coming of Christ is the birth of Christ consciousness into the collective. You will do greater things than me. Yeshua was the embodiment of Christ consciousness, anchoring in this consciousness, this frequency onto the planet, and seeding the blueprint, showing us the way. We walk in the footsteps of these ascended masters who carry pure organic truth through them. And there's just this beautiful amalgamation of the Holy Father, the Holy Mother, and the Holy Child coming together. And what's been coming through is also the actual true Holy Trinity. So I've been grappling with all of these energetics as I've been kind of turning inward and, allowing my body the time to rest and integrating all of this, because I've also been getting new keys and things like that are, unique to, my particular path. So it's just been a lot that I've been integrating, and it's been so magical and beautiful and powerful and potent and deep, so deep. I have to say, I experienced one of the deepest, most profound initiations when I was in this portal the other week. It was on the new moon too, so it was all energetically intertwined. And it was that night that I was actually experiencing deep pain in my body that I knew wasn't, an illness or anything. It was deep alchemy occurring to help me process and release these deep patterns, that some of it was related to my personal evolution and some of it related to collective. So, Gaia herself. So it was just really profound and humbling. And see, I'm still a bit congested because there's been just a lot processing. But this is part of the process of the lunar to solar transfiguration. And so this Holy Mother, Holy Father frequency coming in to merge and unite the silver and the gold. This is what Ophiuchus, am I pronouncing it correctly now, is this is what the alchemical symbology of this sign brings through, is the silver and the gold. So let me bring through this frequency. So it's like the silver ray dissolving into this golden gate. And when you look at it in the greater picture of the zodiac, you know, when we talk about astrology and how it impacts us, I like to look at astrology from an evolutionary and esoteric alchemical perspective. So how is it relevant to our ascension? How is it relevant to our soul evolution? Each sign, each zodiac carries a particular alchemy that when we connect with it on a deeper level, it can help us evolve. When we work with the different energetics and the celestial influences that impact us, then it actually facilitates our soul evolution and expansion to assist us with that deeper embodiment of the higher organic truth. Alchemy is about integrating the lessons, soul integration, if you will, soul retrieval, soul integration, and releasing the density and anchoring in more light, 1111. So it's this portal, this gateway, and what Ophiuchus actually represents is this gateway into the galactic heart. So the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And, you know, I didn't look up too many YouTube videos, but I tuned into a couple, and there's a little bit of misinformation, I suppose we could say, about the zodiac. But it's you know, not to throw shade. It's just that it's not complete. The information isn't complete. Let's put it that way. So we talk about the 13 constellations, and Ophiuchus would be the only one that doesn't have an opposite. So it doesn't work for modern astrology. We also have the beauty of the number 12, which is a powerful number. And then 13 is another powerful number. So in ancient, there's been a lot of throat chakra upgrades. Venus is at the throat chakra as well. So I've been doing a lot of clearing there as well. Oh my gosh, it never ends, right? But pause, reset. Egyptian astrology actually had 14, and the opposite constellation to Ophiuchus is Orion when you look at it in the night sky. When you look at the complete zodiac and the constellations, when you look at galactic astrology, Orion is actually opposite Ophiuchus. And personally, Orion has kind of been with me on my journey. Orion represents the 8th chakra, and we're not going to get into the distortions right now. But Orion has been there, a prominent part of my particular journey, and I believe it's, you know, kind of connected to the past lives and the shadow work and whatnot. And then obviously the pyramids were constructed in alignment with his belt, the 3 stars of Orion's belt. And when we look at it from this perspective, it's actually like the human versus the spiritual. Orion being the human, and kind of on the opposite polar side, that is like anti, I don't want to call it, what's the word? So if Ophiuchus is the gateway, his foot points toward the gateway to the center, the heart of the galaxy, Orion is at the polar opposite side, kind of at the dark side. So it represents the more humanistic, egoic aspects of our journey. And so the journey is to move through the alchemy of the zodiac and to come to this space of ascension and this access point to the eternal gateways, right? So it's, you know, there's still a lot that I am personally trying to integrate, but it just has been so present on my mind and in my body, literally, that this alchemy is working with us so deeply right now, because I do feel that this solar consciousness has been activated onto the planet. Oh, 1444. which helps us. I did see 144 earlier, by the way. I love to attune to the number alignments. I see them all the time, but integrating this consciousness of galactic astrology will help us to really see the full picture. I believe there is a lot of validity to the tropical astrology, and just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If this doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. But I also believe that there's multiple multidimensional aspects to our journey that these different systems represent. And so I believe the 12 sign tropical zodiac helps us on our journey. At a certain point, this other consciousness, this other awareness might come through for us to connect with, because we have particular aspects to learn that are connected to that charting, and that my sun sign, most people, their sun sign changes with the galactic zodiac, and they both feel very deeply relevant to me. And I very deeply connect with the alchemy that Ophiuchus represents, that the alchemy of this season. When you're on the priestess path, you honor the darkness, you honor the gifts that reside within the void space. The void space of the womb is where all creation is birthed. Oh, I just saw 1616, 1616. That's interesting. So the element that is associated, I also heard somebody say, like, there is no element associated with Ophiuchus, but that's also not entirely accurate. It's water and ether. And ether is an element that hasn't totally been recognized either. It's the fifth element, and we traditionally have only honored 4. So this creates this kind of new spiritual substance, if you will, what some people call anyway, fire water. And it basically represents absolute alchemy. And this, to me, it's like that silver and gold coming together. The water and the fire create like a very potent alchemy. I used to pull this fire and water card from my Lemurian deck, actually, a fair amount. So that deeply resonated with me. So it's kind of like the waters of the womb is what I connect it with, the Holy Grail, the Amrita, is how some people have explained it as well. So it's like the eternal living waters is what this represent. And what season are we in? We're in the season of, honoring the Immaculate Conception of the mother to give birth to the divine holy child, to give birth to the sun, the solar consciousness. And now that we are clearing out the distortions of lunar consciousness and anchoring into solar consciousness, this remembrance is coming through. So it's through the womb that the word of God is birthed even. There's so many different ways to look at this when you actually look at it from an alchemical, esoteric perspective. It's actually very beautiful and very profound how it all connects Advent, this season of Mother Mary and her Immaculate Conception being honored, and this Ophiuchus coming through as well, which is the man holding the serpent, by the way. I should have said that earlier, but the alchemy is the sacred wounded healer. That's what this sign represents. So to bring it full circle, this sign is literally about the sacred wounded healer of humanity's spiritual ascension. So really working through that deep alchemy, which can be really challenging and confronting. And it's like literally this restructuring of our physical body, of our light body that we've been working through. If we've been on this journey, you know what I mean? It's deep, it's powerful, it's profound. And this is what opens the dimensional doorways to a greater, more expanded reality. So I would love to hear if this resonates / makes sense to everybody as I'm sharing this, because it's like I have to sit with the energies and then anchor it into 3D words, like translate it, if you will, which sometimes requires a little bit more research, but it's also like what I'm experiencing, feeling, and then anchoring it in to the wisdom that we have and how this is opening things up for me personally, which also is probably a reflection for a lot of people on their own journeys. So I would love to hear if this makes sense and how it's resonating and landing for you, because there is more that I have been weaving through that I'm going to share in my winter solstice ceremony, which is going to be kind of like a half masterclass, half ceremony, half honoring of the journey. But I bring through these activations, and I've already received incredibly beautiful visuals for that. Magical, beautiful, powerful, profound. And some of the visuals came through before I was anchored into this information, so I'm going to expand on it in that ceremony. So anyway, there's a lot that I intend to share that I have been studying, because for me, the path is self-mastery, soul mastery, spiritual ascended mastery. You've got to start with the self-mastery, and then you get to this intermediate level where you understand yourself and you know thyself, I suppose you could say. But then you get to go deeper and then you get to really embody. And then you get to the point of this powerful light body activation level of the Kundalini. A lot of people dive in headfirst to the deep end without being anchored in their own bodies, without having the basic foundational tools. So, this is kind of the danger that I see with a lot of New Age, and a lot of the very well-known teachers out there are bringing people into experiences that they're frankly not ready for. And this isn't to throw shade on people, because we are just remembering and resurrecting the wisdom. But what I would love to be a part of and to help to do, ding ding, is, and I do feel it's my mission because it's all over my chart that I'm here to be a spiritual teacher. Who knew? But that's literally written into my star codes. But to really anchor people in to this path of soul evolution from a very practical and grounded perspective, because I experienced so many gaps along the way myself, and it was challenging. I dealt with a lot of nonsense as well, so how to deal with the narcissist and stuff like that, the projection that comes, the people who don't understand you, and yada, yada, yada. I've dealt with all of it, and I've dealt with far more. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, now it's time to share, but now it's time to really anchor humanity into what this journey is really meant to look like and be about, because we lost the mystery schools. So this is what I'm endeavoring to do with my Illumina Wisdom School of Mastery as well. We've got the foundational course basically in place, and there's just like a laundry list of videos that I am ready to create. And I'm gonna focus this channel less on the cards. I've been feeling kind of this push-pull as well with creating videos, because I love my oracle cards and they're just really beautiful and magical and they're fun to work with. But this channel, Awakening Mastery with Amanda, is meant to be about awakening the master within as we are on this journey of awakening. So it's, mastering the journey as we awaken the master within. How do we do that? A lot of it is very practical, and a lot of it is anchoring into the true organic teachings that have been suppressed. A lot of them are only being revealed now. A lot of the spiritual teachings are kind of rooted in distortion, unfortunately, and it's going to be confronting for a lot of people when the full truth is revealed. And I don't claim to know the full truth, but I also have been grappling with a lot of the teachings being kind of false, inverted, distorted, especially in the New Age. And so this is what I've really been working to distill in my own being to help anchor into myself what is truth and so that I can help to restore the true teachings, you know, play my part. I'm not pretending that I'm going to do this all myself. And there are other really incredible people out there who are teaching a lot of true stuff, but I still see a lot of the false stuff out there that keeps people separated from themselves and keeps them in a frequency trap, if you will. Is that even the word that I meant to use? It's like hitting a glass ceiling kind of thing, because there are these traps along the journey that if you don't know how to navigate it, if you haven't, you know, actually been on the path of mastery, of true mastery, that it's a deep journey. You know, there's a lot of people out there getting their activations and going way up high and into the astral and then opening themselves up to things that they're not ready for, and then crashing and burning. And it's, you know, it makes me really sad to witness this, because a lot of people then get also taken over, and that's how the false light perpetuates. So this is what, and to be fair, they're losing. A lot of us have been doing the work to, you know, get those things out of ourselves and to really focus on, okay, how are we meant to anchor this truth into the planet? My gene keys are truth and illumination. I will never stop seeking the truth. And I will do my best to illuminate what I learn along the way. So this is what I'm here to do. Ding, ding. Sorry, I should have shut that down. But anyway, I'll stop rambling right now. Clearly, I actually do have a lot that I want to share, but also remember that this is available. Ding, ding, ding. There's a lot that I packed into this book. It's available on Amazon right now. I've been delayed in the recording of the Audible for obvious reasons. And so hopefully that'll be coming sooner than later, as well as the other platforms. So anyway, I've been very internal lately, and thank you for your understanding. Thank you for being here. And I would love to hear how this is all resonate. Those likes, subscribes, comments are so helpful. The algorithm is kind of hard to work with sometimes. So I'm still working on that. I think a lot of people don't even see the videos the same way anymore. So, you know, subscribe and, you know, whatever that with the notifications. So anyway, I will drop the link to the ceremony as well as my book in the comments as well. I guess I could do a comment, but I meant in the description, as well as the other offers that I have in my school and everything. So I will be on here more often, more frequently. And this is one of my tasks for the month, is to get, yes, it's like, yes, you got to do this, get a schedule going for my YouTube videos. So I'm going to plan out what makes sense as far as the content, because there's so much that I want to share. Anyway, I'm sending you much love. I will see you soon. And to finish that thought about the cards, I have contemplated starting a separate channel for that. Part of me is like, oh, a separate channel when this is, maybe I am meant to. Okay, I'm gonna get going so these dings don't keep coming through, but I'm sending you much love. Thank you so much for being here. Onward and upward, and happy holy days.